Hello everyone, welcome back. On today's video, I'm going to give you a final update on the ice cream cone and popsicle stick I've been creating. It's finally done. I'm super excited to show you guys. Before I do that, I'm just going to run a couple of clips to remind you a little bit of the process and how this came together. I'm very happy with the results, so stay till the end and I'll show you the final outcome. All right, hope y'all like it. All right, as you can see here, it starts off with a piece of cardboard. Then you start creating the shape that you're after. You see how I started creating the cone with cardboard and filled it in with some paper. Then the actual cones were created with cardboard strips that I just overlap and start to stabilize it. And just want to keep thinking of the shape you're creating and use cardboard to do that. And this is what you end up with. Then you want to completely cover the armature. This is the popsicle. Just completely cover it. All right, the next step is to do the papier-mâché. You start off with cutting some strips of paper. I like using craft paper just because it's a little thicker and you end up with a sturdier armature. So here is the papier-mâché glue. And then what I like to do is run my hand through the glue, then add it to the paper. And you want to make sure that when you lay it down on the sculpture that you smooth it over. As you can see here, I lay it down and then I run my hand over just to make sure that it stays smooth and there's no creases. And also you want to make sure that when you do this, you overlap the papers. And then, of course, it's going to require a couple of papier-mâché sessions. This is the first session. Then you let it dry for about, I would say you let it dry for at least 48 hours, depending on the temperature in the room. But 48 hours should be more than enough. You want to make sure that it thoroughly dries so that you don't end up with any mold or problems with it not drying fully. All right, and I'm just speeding up here. I continue to add the layer. And like I said, make sure to overlap it so you end up with a thicker consistency. And this is what it looks like once you fully let it cover. Here's the popsicle stick. Then what I did, after I added the second layer, I went over it with some foam strips of paper to create the three-dimensional feel of the cone. And then I added spackle to the whole thing. And I like to use a brush with the spackling. I tried with a palette, but it just doesn't end up as smooth as I like it. So the spackling would definitely smoothen out the sculpture. And you end up with a really nice surface. After that, of course, you have to sand it down a bit. I went ahead and painted it, and as a final touch, I added about 3 layers of varnish. And that, just gives it a little protective barrier, so in case you bump it with anything or you leave it outside by accident in the rain. All right, well, here is the final result for the ice cream cone. Isn't it cool? And I had a lot of fun creating this. This was a very fun project that I took on. In the back, you'll see. Some vinyl that I put on there just to give it a little bit of a better finish. I added a couple of pieces of cardboard to stabilize it with some screws and added a hook so that I can hang it outside. All right, and that's the ice cream cone. And this one is the popsicle stick. I think it came out really cool as well. I wanted to show variation, sort of like a little ombre effect that I created. And on this one as well, I went ahead and put some cardboard to stabilize it with some vinyl, a nice hook. And yeah, this is the final look. If you all would like to come out one day, take a class on how to create these sculptures, I would love to have you. We could create, any sculpture that you'd like. Right now, I have some students creating hearts. I have some creating some alebrijes. So the options are endless. Come by and get that creativity flowing, and I'll guide you through it. All right. Well, thanks so much for following along with this project, and I hope y'all like them. All right. Have a great one. Peace.